Hey guys, it's Sen here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a guide to Rocket Loon Zap in the clan capital. So this is an attack that I've been having a lot of success with, and as you can see in the last raid weekend, I was able to finish number 1 and number 2 in my clan with this attack. So hopefully by the end of this guide, you guys will be able to use this in your own clans and find some success with it as well. So the first thing you want to do to get started is go into your Balloon Lagoon, then your lightning spell factory, and then check how much damage your lightning spell does. So this is important because before you when you're scouting your bases, you need to know how many zaps you need to bring to get down certain defenses that are going to be harming your balloons. And also for the zap spell, it can hit buildings that are spaced 2 tiles apart. So, for example, in the capital, most buildings are 2 by 2. So this cannon and this air bomb, which is touching this 2 by 2 cannon, there's space. There's 2 tiles in between, and so one zap in between can hit both of these at the same time. Of course, you wouldn't want to hit cannons. You're not aiming for cannons when with your lightning spells because you're bringing balloons, but that's just for demonstration purposes. And but what you want to be hitting with your zaps are in order of priority is number 1, the rapid rocket. This fires really fast, does a lot of damage to your balloons. That is the highest priority. And then the air defense, normal air defense with longer range but shoots slower, and then spear throwers, which they don't do a lot of damage, but they're still single target air. Now the reason you don't want to aim for things like rocket artillery, air bombs, and inferno towers and blast bows is because they have so much HP that it's hard to zap them down. So I would avoid trying to go for them there's very specific unless it's a very specific scenario in which you should. Now let's get into the first attack and let's break down a base with Rocket Loon Zap. So before we get into the attacks, I just want to mention that in general, with this strategy, you're looking to take down bases in 2 attacks and the capital in 3 attacks. And that's how you're going to get the most out of your attacks in the raid weekends. So diving into the first base, like I said, the first thing you want to look at is where your zaps are going to get the most value. So I mentioned that you want to go for rapid rockets, air defenses, and spear throwers. But what's also important is how deep they are in the base. So, for example, this level 3 spear thrower is way more valuable to zap down than this level 4 spear thrower on the outside, because this one's on the inside and it's going to be shooting your balloons for a long time before you can get to it. Whereas this one on the outside, once we clear some trash on the outside, we can easily target it with 1 balloon. The reason why this strategy is so powerful is that rocket balloons can 1-for-1 a lot of buildings so long as they have a clear path towards that building. So actually these air defenses on the outskirts, we can target them really easily and they're not going to be that big of a threat to us. And so we want to be shooting for air defenses and rapid rockets in the core of the base. So I'm looking at this air defense, this rapid rocket, and this air defense as top priorities for our zaps. Now, because we have a level 4 zap as well as a level 4 spell factory, which can bring 6 lightning spells, we can zap down level 3 and under air defenses and spear throwers with 4 zaps. And what's nice about that is what we can do is we can use 4 zaps on the first attack and then use 2 zaps on a different set of buildings. And then that'll set up for the next attack to use 2 zaps to zap down those buildings, and then we can zap down another group of air defenses and spear throwers in the second attack. And so in total we can zap down 3 groups of air defenses. And so on this base, I decided that the most valuable zaps that I could get would be this set of buildings, these 2 air defenses, And then on the second attack, I can get down these 3 air defenses as well with zaps. As you'll notice, there's only 2 tiles between these 2 air defenses. Now, I actually got greedy with my zaps, so on the first attack, I went for this group of buildings. I got greedy and tried to hit the cannon and ended up missing this spear thrower, so that was my bad. Don't get too greedy on your zaps. I went for the cannon as well because that would mess up my balloon pathing a little bit, and so I just wanted that out of the way so my balloons wouldn't path there on the future attacks. Now, the reason I went for this set of air defenses on the first attack instead of, let's say, these is because on the first attack I plan to go up the left side of the base and get down all of these air defenses on the left side, and these spear throwers and air defenses would be the most problematic for the first attack. So you also want to plan out the order in which you zap down the air defenses, because depending on where you're going with the specific attack, certain buildings will be more threatening to your balloons. So I decided that I would go up this left side for the first attack and then leave this cluster of air defenses that's guarding this rocket artillery and this air bombs for the second attack. And now, like I said, for the rocket balloons, they're really good at one-for-oneing buildings. So as long as you drop your rocket balloons in a way so that they'll target the building, and so you'll have to have a little bit of practice on this as well, they should usually be able to solo buildings, and that's what makes them so strong. So let's get into the replay. Like I said, I messed up my zap when I tried to be too greedy. I missed one of the zaps on this spear thrower, and it ended up surviving, and that's going to end up biting me a little bit. Now, another important thing with rocket balloons is you want to clear trash as efficiently as possible. So that allows you to deploy your rocket balloons closer and let their haste ability shoot them into the building you want them to target faster. And so they take less damage and they can get to their buildings faster. So I just use one barb, and this will open up and that also allows you to to target your rocket balloons towards the key defenses. So, like I said, you want to target your rocket balloons. I'm targeting the air targeting defenses with my rocket balloons right now. And then as they clear out, I drop a group of minions to open up more of the map for deployment. Send some more rocket balloons. And send in some more minions on the top left to clear out some more trash up there. So you don't want to spam in your rocket balloons. Notice how I'm sending in my rocket balloons so that they target the defenses that I want them to target. And that's how you're going to get the most value out of them. When you spam them in, they're really weak to splash defenses like the air bombs and the rocket artilleries, but if you target them and be precise with them, they'll get a lot more value for you. And like I said, I'm going to use the last 2 zaps to set up for the next attack. And so for this next attack, I was a little bit more careful with my zaps so I don't mess them up like the first attack, so I dropped them a little bit slower. Trying to make sure I get everything I want them to get. And now, as you can see, there's not even that many air targeting defenses left. And now this is an important thing to know. You need to be able to overwhelm splash targeting defenses with rocket balloons. And the way you do that is you want to spread your balloons and have them go in from all different directions, so the splash targeting defenses can't get them all at once. You see, this rocket balloon is having a hard time with all of these balloons because they're swarming it from all sides. And now I was a little sloppy on my balloon drops towards the end, and so it got really close to me not being able to get the space. Actually, I think I only had 10 seconds left for cleanup. The super giants were also kind of annoying and stalling up my balloons, but I was able to get it in the end with all those little mistakes I made. And so as you can see, this is a really strong attack. Even when you make some hiccups here and there, you can still get down bases like the barbarian camp down in 2 hits. So let's get into the next raid, and that one's a little bit cleaner. So looking at the second base, once again, the first thing we're going to consider is where is the zap value on the base. So the priority targets are these 2 rapid rockets, which are pretty deep in the base, as well as these air defenses, which are buried pretty deep behind a lot of other defenses. So those are pretty good places to use zaps, but now I'm going to mention another detail you should consider when trying to choose where to zap. And that is, if you can zap so that it'll make your funnel easier, that's a zap that's also worth considering. So on this base, this rapid rocket and this air defense, while they're on the outskirts of the base, which means that rapid or rocket balloons are pretty easily going to target them. If we were to zap these 2, this side of the base wouldn't have much air coverage, so we could use a group of minions to clear all of these ground targeting defenses as well as this trash after we clear this air bomb somehow. So in the end, I decided to also go for these 2 air defenses because, of course, clearing trash and opening up the base allows for you to, once again, target your rocket balloons as well as spawn them closer to the defense that they're going to. If we're able to clear this entire side of all of this trash and all of these defenses, we're going to be able to target these spear throwers and air defenses really easily with our rocket balloons. And so that's another thing to consider. So how are we going to start this first attack? Well, we want to open up the base, of course, so that we can, of course, send in our rocket balloons where we want them to. And so I start with a ram on this wall. Now the nice thing about the battle ram is that it spawns barbarians, and those barbarians, if they're out of range of any defenses, they can start clearing trash for you, so you don't have to bring another barbarian or set of archers for that. So let's start with the replay. So we're going to start by zapping these 2 air defenses. The ram barbarians are clearing. Now, I drop a group of archers on this barracks, hoping that they'll go in and snipe this air bombs away from the range of the bomb tower, except that there's a Tesla between these 2, which kind of ruins that plan, and so I have to commit some more archers. Notice that I send 2 sets of rocket balloons on this archer tower because it's out of range of any splash, and so I'm not afraid of them clumping up. And now I send in the minions over on this multi-cannon. And notice, once the minions start getting range of the spear thrower, I send in 2 more rocket balloons to assist. Now they'll be able to clear all of this without any problems. And after they're done all that, I can easily target all of these defenses on the second row. And that'll make my second attack a lot easier. And for the last 2 zaps, I decided to go for these 2, Rapid Rocket and Air Defense. On the second attack, I'm going to finish these two off, as well as send the rest of the zaps for this group of buildings, take out the rapid rockets, and soften these defenses for rocket balloons to cruise through. And also, I almost took down this air defense with archers, so I'm going to do that for the next attack. Just bring one set of archers and finish that off. So we're in for the second attack. I send in the zaps. And then send in the archer to finish off that air defense. And notice how I drop the balloons. I target my defenses that I want to go for, but I do it very fast. You want to be fast and precise with your balloons. What that does is that it stops the defenses from focusing down any one set of rocket balloons. These balloons all go in at once, and they all get to their target without dying off because they get focused down. And also pay close attention to the group of rocket balloons that go for this spear thrower. It draws the aggro of this rocket launcher, and notice how it's going to dodge that rocket launcher and absorb and soak up so many shots so that the rest of my rocket balloons don't get fired on. While this rocket artillery was distracted, I used my rocket balloons to take out the rest of the air targeting defenses on the space, and now the rocket artillery is just getting swarmed, and there's nothing you can do at this point. Notice I also have 2 balloons left over. I didn't even have to use them. This is how powerful this attack can be when you execute it properly. So that's the Rocket Loon zap attack. I'll be posting more examples of some of my best hits in future videos, and I'll also be putting in the description the key points from this video. Make sure to read those over before entering those attacks on your own, and maybe try doing friendly challenges for some practice, especially with targeting balloons. For a person that uses Lalo a lot in his war attacks, it's something that comes natural to me, but if you don't really use balloons in the home village too much, this is something that you ought to learn, both for clan capital and for your home village attacks, because Lalo is really strong. So if you like the video, you can check out some of my other content. I have some home village attacks for war that I post, and those are pretty fun as well. I post some blizzard attacks, some super archer blimp attacks. You can also let me know how this strategy is going for you, and take care, y'all.